I've had to troubleshoot a few times on trying to get this thing right. It's been a work in progress trying to get it optimal for everybody, y'all and me, doing this interaction. So glad. Yeah, I fixed the issue. I had to blast it from my cell phone. Uh, and my last live, I was explaining it didn't matter how quiet I turned down my speakers for my computer, or if I cranked it up loud, it would still be too loud. Um, what was the last question that you sent me? Was it about fire? Is that what you're talking about? Um, how fire is one, kind of, yeah. So fire is considered to be an element, quote, unquote. It is supernatural in that it's not solid. It's metaphysical. But what's cool about it is it does need a natural fuel source. It needs the oxygen, air. So it needs, it's the spirit and the natural together. And there is slight moisture involved, but too much can extinguish it. So it's kind of like it's really a beautiful element when you start to break down fire. And different elements burn at different colors. And what I was saying is that we are surrounded by fire. Oxygen is a form of spiritual fire that we breathe. We actually breathe fire, with oxygen on like a spiritual level. Also, the angels are ministers of fire. And when Jesus said that he came to bring fire on earth and to set and a sword. So in the book of Genesis, in the Garden of Eden, when it says that the Creator placed, after the fall of man, it says the Creator placed a flaming sword as a protector to keep people out, and it spins in all directions. And that is what Jesus was saying as he was speaking for the Holy Spirit, when he says that he came to bring fire on earth as judgment, and he came to divide mother from brother, sister from mom, on and on. So he's the Holy Spirit is the flaming sword of division that is in place, that tries all of our works. And all of our works are tried by fire. That's in another book. Everything that we do is tested and tried, and must be refined as in a furnace to be pure. And it is the center. Is it the center of the trust? As far as what kind of trust are you talking about? Like, are you saying that the triangle is trust? I mean, it is trust. It's in the center of it is us. The humans, the heart, the love, the one, the fire. It's where it all combines in and out of us. Like it is, all of these foundations are a part of us, right? So in the very center of this, with fire, right, we embody all of the different elements, and we have jurisdiction over all of the elements and can manipulate all the different elements depending on, like I said, if you go through the 7 different stages where you can embody the rainbow frequencies with your chakras and all that, and you're able to flow and be one with the Creator. You can actually manipulate time and matter and all that, because you have reign over all 3 of the heavens. You have reign over all of the elements. You have reign over, you are, as Psalm says, God. Because on the 7th stage, the 7th day, when the Creator finds rest upon you, when the Creator gets to rest, because you are Him, or you are the Creator, I say Him. I gotta try to change my tongue because it's not like a gender thing. But I don't know about squaring the circle. That's a Masonic thing. I'm not so much into saying squaring the circle as opposed to in the triangle. There's more to the triangle, like I said, because we are in the center of it, but it's all us. So there's really that 4th element, and everything has a public and a private side, and you can spin it into this is it a tetrahedron? It's like the Star of David, but it's kind of 3D. It's one of those geometric shapes that is very, very powerful. So it's it gets deep, right? So I'm just laying down simple foundations, as we can grow and build upon them. But that is a very good question, because I actually was embodying that question not too long before you asked it, and I was like, fire, because you got water, earth, and air, and fire is in the center of it all with us, because we are be able to, Kabbalah basically. And now I have not been led to dive deep into the Kabbalah because my works are elsewhere, and that's why people ask certain questions, and I'm okay at answering a lot of things, but certain things are kind of outside of what I've studied and not been led to embody and embrace. But the Kabbalah is it's pretty deep. I actually enjoy a lot of the TikToks from this one guy. I'm trying to remember his name, but I posted some of his works in the group from the Hearth book that he created. And then there's another guy that he talks about how the human body is the man of war, and Yovhev, which is like Yahweh, which is man. So the sixth stage, I wanted to do the sixth stage this week, and I got really busy. So I tried to put out one video a week, and I had finally one date, with a girl, and I also had a board meeting that took up a day. So I kind of lost 2 days there, where I wasn't able to release the video. But the sixth day is man. It is the creation of man, and man, Joshua, is the Yahweh. When you do the tetragramation, it creates a human body. The words, it is man and human, and we are, like I said, fractals of the Creator that can embody all elements, within and without. Now, fire is not so much a solid body that is like oxygen, or oxygen is stable, nature is stable, earth and water is stable. You can't compress water and stuff like that. All of these stuff have different, deeper meanings. Fire is a metaphysical kind of type of element, and it's not solid. It's like neither gas nor solid nor all the different things. So it's a very, very unique type of substance. Embodiment celestial. What does that mean, Pablo? I don't know what a embodiment celestial. Oh, you have that Hearth. Yeah. So the Hearth book is pretty deep. The guy that made that, I love his teachings, because he's in alignment with a lot of the stuff that I teach. He does, obviously, like everybody else, that they sell their works, and I enjoy his works. I enjoy his TikToks. I enjoy what he's got to say and how he presents his information. It's very much in alignment. I did actually reach out to him and said, like, hey, I think we could possibly collaborate. He's probably pretty busy, but I did. Oh, I see what you're saying. I think his name is Celestial. His name is Celestial something 636 or 369. I think. Maybe I don't know if that's what you meant by embodiment. It is an African tradition. I'll live to share. Yeah, you can share. I don't know, Vic Santos, are you in my Telegram group? I got all these different social medias for different reasons. I got the Telegram group to be able to post certain documents and links and files and stuff that I can't do on TikTok. TikTok's kind of my platform for reaching out to new people and engaging in the public and trying to help people like this. There's 7 of y'all on here, well, now 8, but I started this journey on TikTok to try to help educate and enlighten everybody, and I got my website there for everybody. All these different social medias have different meanings and different purposes to try to help. And if you are part of my Telegram group, you can post that information on there if you'd like. So what's going on, everybody? It's Friday. It is a beautiful, beautiful day. We're going to actually have happy hour here in my office at 2 o'clock. It has been super busy. I mean, it has been crazy between my daughter going to school, all the stuff that I have been working on with all the houses. I've got businesses that I'm starting. I've got like luckily, well, I say luckily, I really wish I was reaching out to more people with this spiritual stuff, but it isn't. So luckily, I've had somewhat of a slackness going through on TikTok where I haven't had to answer, but maybe 5 or 6 questions a day instead of like 30 to 40, or answering phone calls, because when I was doing the commerce stuff, that was just is booming. Like it's an endless question answering facade. But luckily, I've been focusing my time on a few other things, but it has been wild. And I'm coming on here a little earlier than usual because my office is having a happy hour, and I plan on drinking a little wine. It's like a wine drinking night, so it's like, why not? That's gonna be nice. YouTube channel, the one I think, Mace the Hearth Book. Oh, you talking about Sin and Embodiment Celestial? Yeah, I think that might be his username. It's something like that, but I think he just recently updated it to 369 or something for the frequencies, and I believe it's probably because he got banned, because some of this stuff, this esoteric stuff, like TikTok does not want it released out. They do not want certain people to hear certain things. And so far, the only thing that I've had issues with is when they misunderstood me one time on a live, when there was a homosexual kid that was getting picked on, and I repeated what he wrote. I said they're beating you up because you are blank, and I couldn't believe it. And they cut my live saying they thought I was doing hate speech. And how they work is by the time you appeal it and try to get back to your live, because they ban you for a week, the week's over with before they even answer it. So it's like, and then I got banned 2 other times for talking about certain, I guess, very sensitive political information. And I don't know if that's because you can earn gifts while you're doing this live, and there's a big there's a big ordeal involving monetary incentives and political views and aspects, and it even breaks down between church and state and federal reserves, and like it's a big deal when you start involving monetary incentives for political stuff. All right, so Jay Hovel, what's up? Welcome, happy Friday. It's a beautiful day. We're just Vic Santos, thanks for the rose, much appreciated. It's a beautiful day, man. I'm just up here hopping on, trying to help some people get. I got too busy to do my video this week. I wanted to release the 6th day, the man, the starting to get near the end. It's just been too busy. And so I'm gonna, but luckily it gives me more time to reflect and work on it. And I try to put a little bit of effort into my videos because they are educational, and I try to make them entertainment as well, and simply laid out on different levels, because everybody's on different levels, right? So I try to release these videos so that it can reach babes and very, very knowledgeable truth seekers, on all different levels, because we're all on different paths and different walks. And that's why I try to use my tongue to reach everybody as far as I can on teaching. So it's all right, man. Networks go in and out. So if you want, this live will be posted on my YouTube channel. You can subscribe to that. You can listen to the audio on my Telegram group. I'll post it on there. I got all my information that I studied for years and years is on my website. It's free. It's a lot of esoteric, occult type of hidden knowledge that is not mainstream media or Rockefeller-funded indoctrination, public fool system, schooly taught. And you can browse around there. Truth Social, I've done a lot of work on that. That's about it right now. Truth, TikTok, Telegram. Not so much on Twitter, and it's only because honestly, I think I could post probably everything I've posted on Truth on Twitter, because it's just like you can only like type and post links and tiny little videos, and I'm just not real big in typing on my phone. Now I can type on the keyboard. I'm like kind of fast on that, but. All right, the inner G spot. Hi, and your logo is I am. So I am the inner G spot. Okay. Hi. How you doing? Welcome. Any info on trust and estate in court? Yeah, I mean, there's tons of information, especially if you like Google it. If you ask a specific question, that would help. instead of talking about like trust in court, because all court cases are trust. Everything's in trust: money, relationships, love, words, the triangle that governs everything in our known and unknown realities. Everything is trust. Twitter is the best, no restrictions. Yeah, it's possible that there's no restrictions on there. I know that it was very heavily filtered, had FBI in it, had CIA. I'm not super sure about Elon Musk's. I don't trust his alignment. I don't trust his views very much, because his wearing like some Baphomet clothing and stuff like that, that's just it just doesn't quite seem right. I don't know though. I'm still trying to feel the guy out. I'm not like drinking coffee with the dude. I don't know him very well, but from what I've seen, I'm just not super supportive of what he's about. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't use their services, right? So Twitter could be a fine service, right? And what sucks is like there's companies and trusts and businesses that are established that eventually like corrupt people end up taking over. And the same thing happens with like Disney, for instance. Like for Disney, some people like boycott. They don't want nothing about it because they're targeting children with the LGBTQRSTUV stuff, and they're like trying to get them to start involving in sexual activities at a very early age, and all this stuff. So some people don't like that, but that doesn't mean that all Disney's like terrible, right? I mean, yeah, it's probably created by Masons and stuff, but same thing happens with businesses. I actually was part of a business that was very hands down loving, caring of all the people, and then slowly the owners changed, and now it is just a business where you are a worthless employee with a number, unless you're in the very top echelon, the very top tier, and you're exposable, you have no voice, and people are leaving there left and right because they can't stand it. Now, so of course, some people stay because they want the money and all that. Mikey, thank you for the rose. Thank you for the heart. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I did see it, and I'm very appreciative too. Guys, all of your gifts, I convert into promoting my videos to enlighten more people. So when y'all give me gifts, I'm actually funneling that to help enlighten more people. So when y'all are here learning and educating, or getting educated and raising the consciousness and the vibration and the frequency, and you're also gifting, you're helping me enlighten other people and bring more people the truth and the light, so that they can become awake and try to continue to raise the consciousness, because there is awakening happening. There always has been, but there's been a lot more recently with the planned demic that kind of shook the earth here recently with all that stuff. Let me back up. All right. Twitter is the best notification. I love your videos. Thanks, Mikey. I spend time on them. I do. Like I said, I wanted to drop the 6th Day, the Man, Yahuwah, the Book of Joshua. I was planning on trying to drop that, but it takes a little bit of study, because I've read the Bible many times. It's been unlocked to me on all the levels, the commercial, spiritual, natural. But I do have to refresh, because who can remember all the Bible, unless it's spiritually, subconsciously imprinted. But I have to refresh, so it takes a little bit of time. And then I like to throw in some pictures and stuff and sound effects. So, all right. So James Moore, what do I do? They sent me a delinquent notice for a speeding ticket. What can I do to cancel it? What does the delinquent notice say? Is it like you failed to show up, or you failed to pay, or you failed to so how court systems work is it's just an account that needs to be settled. So you have to settle the account. There has been a charge that has been levied against the U.S. citizen, and the U.S. citizen needs to either settle it, or the LAR, the legal authorized representative, needs to come in there and try to handle the business of the estate, because that's the estate can't do anything without you. You have to handle all the business. So there's many ways to handle the commercial affair, and I think you answered a little bit further down. Hold on. Is there a way to contact me personally? Yes, James, you can DM me, you can email me. My phone number's on my website, my TikTok DMs. You can get me on True Social. There is insane amount of ways. There's more ways to get at me than I can get at my mama. You know what I'm saying? As far as contact, and so I'm out there. I should not be hard to find at all. Go on my profile page at TikTok. You'll see all my social media links on my website. That's linked there. And that's where all my contact information is. Also, my email. So my email's on my TikTok, and then also the website that has all my social medias and my other contact information. So, James, I got a ticket. I was found guilty and just learned jurisdiction. I owe $500. What can I do to pay? So there's all kinds of different ways to pay. You can pay. You can set it off. You can put it in trust and discharge it publicly. You can go through the DTC and set it off privately. You can pay in Federal Reserve notes. You can sometimes do community service. You can, there's so many different ways. It's all about contract. Contracts are fluid and dynamic, and they change. And you have the ability to, embody it and handle it however you want. And we're not taught these things, and that is why I'm here. I'm here to try to help re-educate a lot of people, because we've all been taught that we are serfs, subjects, slaves, and insolvent, right? But we are actually the only assets, and we are a fractal of the Creator, of the Divine One, and we can embody all the elements. We have the ability to change our reality through our will and our consciousness and our contracts that we keep and make. And it's up to you to do that, but you have to embody that. All right. Welcome to the Charles Show, guys. By the way, this is the entertainment purposes only, absolute mad. Welcome to my brain and the mouth that is transmitting that information. Anyway, I got 2 weeks to pay. I got a delinquent notice basically saying I'm F if I don't pay in cash. You can send them a promissory note and tell them to monetize it. You can do a grantee acceptance on the bill, and you can put it in trust, or you can send it to the alien property custodian, which is I don't even remember what the new form, because it changed its name a few times. It's not the alien property custodian, which is in charge of U.S. citizens' assets. But yeah, that's typically how it works. Is they create infractions of a system that we're not really bound by, but they know how to enforce their side and their procedures, and we're not taught how to combat that. My bad, can't answer quick on what I meant on Embodiment Celestial is the channel that I saw when... Oh yeah, so I think that might be the guy's username, Embodiment Celestial, but like I said, I think I was friends with him, and then I think his username changed on TikTok. TikTok's like the main social media that I engage in mostly, so you have to forgive me. But that is and I was friends with him, and then he changed his username, and then now I think he's Celestial369 or something like that. All right, Pablo. First heard about the Hearth book. Oh yeah, so it's in my media too, Pablo. If you go on my Telegram group, you'll be able to find the Hearth book 1, 2, and 3. It's there. It's also on my website. If you browse around in the spiritual folder, you'll be able to find it. And I break everything down on my website into nature, spirit, and commerce. And depending on which path you want to take, most people go towards commerce. I mean, it is the exchange of everything of value, so it's a big deal, guys. Commerce is big. Everything is commercial. It is, but it isn't, right? Because commerce can do nothing without nature and spirit. So it's a very, very tricky little sword. That's why I love the moon. So Mammon, the moon, is the commercial light over here, and it is the interface. Moses said that I am the interface between the Creator and you, and he's talking to people, and that's why it's so cool that it can. The moon goes through phases where it disappears completely, and it also is physical and light. So it's like the interface between the natural sun and the spiritual sun. So the moon is the commercial sun between the nature and spirit. And then what's so cool about, and I was refreshing and reading through the book of Yahuwah, Joshua, the sixth day, the sixth stage, and as they're getting ready to take the Ark of the Covenant through the Jordan, which means descending, they're talking about on one side is the sun, and on the other side, Jericho, is the moon. And and they're taking the Ark of the Covenant through it, and it's just like I'm like it's so cool when you're able to have the Bible unlocked and you're able to see how deep it goes. And I am by no means the master of any of this stuff. I just have eyes. My pineal gland's been unlocked, and I'm able to see stuff that other people can't typically see. And but I also do the research. Like, I can pull up a site and look up the Hebrew word of Jericho, and it means moon. You know, most people don't do that. They don't even take time to look into any of that stuff. All right, so James, I will challenge jurisdiction. Does that work? Yes, but what is your basis of challenging jurisdiction? Because I can guarantee you that you were traveling in a vehicle that belongs to the state, and as the beneficiary of your property, requires a lot of different things, and taxes, titles, tags, insurance, seatbelt, all that, licensing, all that stuff. And that's why you have to comply, and you got to understand how it works. Yes, you can beat the case. You can come in there and say, I'm the human, you don't have jurisdiction over me. But guess what they do have jurisdiction over? They have jurisdiction over the U.S. citizen. And the U.S. citizen has been charged. And the U.S. citizen needs to pay somehow so that their books are balancing. And that's all it is. It's just an account that needs to be settled. And it is very hard to embody sovereignty in front of a quote-unquote authority figure like a judge and police and all that in court. It's hard to take control of a court, because that is what is required. You have to take control of a court in order to move it the way that you want. And if you don't, I have people that they learn a little bit, they're able to come in and squash and do things, but when they're tested again, they're kind of like, because it takes a while to learn all this stuff. So, Pablo, I got to drive to make a living and can't answer quick. Oh, I understand. Yeah, man. I mean, by all means, we can chat on the phone sometime, or you can DM me at your leisure. This video will be on my YouTube, guys, if you want to check it out, or you can listen to the audio on Telegram group. My website is on my profile page of my TikTok if y'all want to browse around on that also. James Moore, fill a motion and have it dismissed. Challenge jurisdiction. Yeah, like I said, you can. There is only 68 billion ways to handle a court case. I mean, you could even not even respond. Just keep not responding. Like, that's an option. Not responding is accepting to the claims and terms. It's dishonorable, right? So you, as the sovereign, have 68 billion and a half ways to handle this. You can go through 4 doors of staying in honor or dishonor, or you can pay it with Federal Reserve notes if you want. You got all kinds of options, man. You got options. That's what's cool about life, right? You got options. Lazy Eyes Tribe, what's up? What is the best way to handle a family civil case? The best way to handle any case is to not involve the courts, unless you are trying to use them for your benefit, obviously, which is what everybody on the opposing side of the table typically does. So the best way to handle a court case is to try to have an agreement between the opposing parties outside of that court case. That is what you want to try to embody and do every single time, to not allow the judge to have any jurisdiction or say or whatever. You can create your own judgments from a higher court. You are a court. One of the definitions of court is wherever a sovereign is, and that's wherever you are. And our court is much higher than these military mercantile infringed flag courts that are operating under color of law through false federal jurisdictions all over the U.S., who are just basically operating in ships that are pirates trying to fleece the U.S. citizens for money to the crown. It's all like a tricky game. James Moore, if you fill out a 1099-C and you try to do that, you're not only not going to get the case dismissed, you are going to probably have another charge filed against you for frivolous falsified documents and stuff, because you have to put people's information on it, guys. So all the IRS forms are there for us to use. They're a benefit of business, right? Doing business. But when certain forms, you have to have permission and proof and agreement and or memorialization of the proof and agreement before you enter other people's information on them. And that is how 1099As work. That is how 1099Cs work. You have to have permission from the opposing party. Now, a 1099 OID is a little different because if you're working off a bank account where you're the authorized representative for the transmitting utility that is the U.S. citizen, which is a bank, then you already have an agreement, right? And if you're dealing with securities where you've issued a promissory note and you're the signer on it, there is an agreement, right? But when you go into a court case and the trust has been expressed and you've been basically the trustee to take care of the debt, and you're not the beneficiary and you're not the grantor and you're not, you have to go by their rules. And as a trustee, you've got to pay. And typically you can't try to re-express the trust and like say that they're the debtor, or any of that stuff on IRS forms. You're gonna cause some issues. It's like how the IRS works is double entry bookkeeping, and everything has to balance out at the end and equal zero. So that's why when you do a form like that and you put their information on it and file it and fill it in, when it comes back around to the double entry, because you're doing like a private asset side type of work by putting in that paperwork, when they come to see the public side, like what's going on, it's not going to line up. And that's what happens a lot of times is, we don't understand that, but everything has to be in alignment. So James Moore, would that work? A 1099C, no. Okay. Thanks for sharing the live. Thanks for all the support, guys. Pablo, I did get it downloaded myself. I got all 3 Hearth book. Nice. Heck yeah. Like I said, it's on my website too. It's on my Telegram group. They're all there. It's great. I haven't read them all. I've glanced through them. I could read for the rest of my life and never catch up with some of this stuff, So I try to sparse my time to where I'm most effective in helping everybody become awakened and educated, and also to where I can enjoy life, right? So, part of my passion is laying down my life force for y'all to help y'all, which is edifying me, because y'all are all part of my body. So, I enjoy that, but I also want to enjoy other things other than that, than continuously nonstop helping y'all. So, guys, this live will be on my YouTube if y'all want to subscribe to that, and the audio will also be on my Telegram group. Dig deep into African tradition. I bet you might find some answers concerning spirituality, in my opinion. Oh, I guarantee you all religions have some great edification. And there's a great Chinese proverb that goes like this. There's 4 blind men that are walking towards an elephant, right? The first blind man feels a trunk, and he says, "Oh, this is a hose." The second blind man feels the ear, and he's like, "This is like a carpet." The second blind man the third touches the body, and it's like, "Oh, this is a wall." And then the third one touches the tail and says, "This is a rope." They're all seeing, they're all right, because that's what they perceive as their truth, but they're all describing the same thing. And that is kind of what the Chinese proverb is trying to explain and express about religious division. I do not promote or subscribe any one. Yes, I am very well learned and fluent in the King James Version of the Holy Bible, but it is not by any means the only holy inspired text, and it is not the only path. That, like I said, we're all on the same path to the end goal, right? And there's this funny meme that's like, we all avoid risks in life so that we can arrive safely to death. And it's like, what? And it's like, yeah, we do. We avoid risky stuff so that we can make it through life slowly so we can die, when we want it, or when way down the road. But all, in my opinion, all religions are a double-edged sword because they create division instead of unity. And at the end of the day, they're all kind of saying the same thing, which is love one another, be in love and peace and in spirit, and edify everybody, and then just like, come from that place. That's the best. The kingdom is within all of us. Lazy's Tribe, your website is gold. Oh, awesome. I'm glad that You like that? It's weird that you tagged your own name in that. Lazy Eyes Tribe. I'll DM short. My mom's tried to take my son while I was in custody, so I'm trying to close it. I got you. So whenever you're dealing with a human, like a child, the other parent has 50-50 rights in that product. Even though the child is sovereign in an entity, it needs guidance until a certain age, or it will die, and either the state can take control of that or the two parents should. So when there's a child involved, it's a little bit of a different animal when trying to get remedy, because there has to be cohesive agreement between the two parties, because there's a 50-50 joint custody in that case. And typically, here in Virginia especially, the court likes to lean the scale towards the mom some, that 52-53 mark, because mothers are, they have the breast milk, they create a child in the womb, they carry it for 9 months, they're more loving and nurturing and kind and calm, whereas men are kind of the ones that are supposed to create the protective cover of the clamshell and go out and work in the environment and bring home money. And that's kind of how the family dynamic is typically set up. And whenever you can prove negligence on the mother's part, you can start to build a case, and that is the best method and means for trying to come up, if you cannot come up with an agreement. Now, guys, this is how this works. The only time for a judge is because there's a dispute in the public that can't be handled. So obviously you and your spouse or ex-wife have a dispute that can't be handled in the public. So what you want to do is come up with an agreement. You can do that through a private administrative procedure, or you can do that through proving that there was negligence on her part. She's not being the best mom that she could be, or whatever, to try to tip the scales towards your end to get a favorable agreement. But whenever you go in front of a judge and ask someone else to be a mediator, to be a decision maker, to give up what their law is going to be, it's not always going to be favorable. Whenever you ask someone else to be your judge, you're supposed to be the judge. You're supposed to be the high court. You're supposed to be the embodied sovereign that can walk this earth in light, love, and peace and truth, and embody all law and create it and let it flow through you. And if you cannot come up with an agreement with the opposing party, then someone else will. And that is not going to be a favorable outcome. So you got to be careful when you're trying to ask someone else to do that kind of stuff for you. That's why I always typically suggest trying to come up with an agreement outside of court, and to avoid and alleviate all that mess, don't involve it. It's a machine that has been established with gears that like to operate in certain ways, and unless you know how the machine operates, don't play with that machine. All right, so yeah, go. You can DM me, by the way. Lee Daniel, hi. There's 3 emojis that couldn't make it on my screen. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it was amazing. How you doing? Nina Ninja. Oh, thank you for sharing the live. Little Boydie, hi. Blue Boydie. For some reason I love saying your username just because it slows me down to a whole nother level. It's like little Bull Boydie, which it looks like Bulu. You spell Bulu weird. Lee Daniel. It all comes back to love and light. Yes, ma'am. 100%. Always. That's how it is. Lazy Eyes Tribe. Also, where did you direct me to look up on your Dropbox Z? All my Dropboxes are linked to my website. So I have 3 main Dropboxes that y'all can view. I have another one on my end that's TikTok content that I got to put 1,000 videos into all these folders on my website that I got to find the time. The works are great and the workers are few. Vic Santos, thank you for all the roses. I do appreciate it. For real, like I said, everybody's gifts will be used to help educate other people. So I appreciate you supporting me, and in turn, helping support others become awake. So for private side of a bank, so there is information on banking in my folder on my Dropbox under money. I think banks are in there. Other than that, you're going to have to browse through my audio folders in class in order to learn about public and private trust and banking and stuff like that. It's all about double entry. It's all about T-charts. So it's all about allowing everything to balance out and become one. That's why, a lot of people don't like the system, and this is why an NDA has to be signed. If the public knew that they had all these assets in the private side that they could tap into through a very lengthy, I'm not gonna lie, it's lengthy and kind of convoluted in order to try to do that. but there's schools that teach the elites how to do this from day one. You know, how to tap into the private asset side through the DTC using your Social Security bonds. But if everybody knew how it worked and didn't have to, or was taught how to tap into the private side of the DTC and all that, nobody would work anymore. There would be riots. There would be bombs going off. There would be gunshots. People getting cut because how many people have lost their lives at work or wasted their whole lives away working for a corporation that probably treated them like garbage and gave them pennies on the dollar at the end of the day and just enough to freaking buy a casket at the end game. I remember working in a dock shop for a while, and when I was in there it was kind of depressing. I started there when I was like 18, and I was in there sitting there with all these old guys, and on the door it said birth, school, work, death. And it's like, wow, that sounds very, very exciting for a life cycle right there. All right, so it was actually Lazy Eyes. It was actually mother, not my son, mom. Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of an unusual situation to have that. Well, if it's a custody battle, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Your mom should have no say. Like I've looked into this because my mom tried to say she had grandparent rights over my kids, like because there was like an issue with my baby mom and her a long time ago. It was like it was a big deal. They got into like a little argument, but my mom tried to say, I know my rights. I'm a grandparent. And like, I was like, what? And I looked into it, and it's like, yeah, you have no rights. Like, grandparents don't have any rights. So unless there was custody granted to the mom, then in that case, it is very possible that she has some say or something, if there's a judgment or something. But, oh, it's Blue. Well, you got Little Blue. You got to change your username. You're able to do that, by the way, but you spelled it Bulu. You spelled it, Bule, unless that's how you want to spell it. If something happens to you, mom will be discredited. That is very possible. Oh, it's a play on a name. Okay, I got you. I'm with you now. Sorry, I'm a little slow sometimes. Vic Santos, thank you too. I just like to vibe, enjoy every moment, and be happy. Awesome. Heck yeah. Thanks for being here joined to the group. Everybody, all 17 of y'all, I'm glad that y'all are here trying to be awake and enlightened, and feel free to ask any questions that you want. This is what this time is set. I set time out of my week to try my best to get on here to help y'all for an hour to an hour and a half before my throat gets tired of yelling entertainment purposes only at y'all. So, you're talking about in the background, Geocentric. That's a beautiful name. I like your live because you try your best to interact with every participant. More blessed. Yes, I do. I mean, to the best of my knowledge, to this date, there hasn't been like one question that anybody has ever asked that I have led them astray or not answered or done my best to interact. Sometimes I spend way too much time answering a question, and that will end up causing 28, 30 questions to get backed up. And that is why I'm actually on this platform that's real weird while it's all dark. Like, all of this is for y'all, by the way. So that I can answer more questions with my mouse. I can scroll better. I got all black background so y'all can see y'all's questions. And now I'm playing music through my phone so that it's more palatable as like background elevator music instead of blasting like my speakers were. It's so nuts. I'm telling you, it's wild. I was waiting. I couldn't wait. When I cranked it up really loud, I'm like, y'all's ears are gonna bleed. And then I went and listened to it in my car. It didn't even change it. And it's like, I don't understand it sometimes how things work or don't work. I appreciate y'all too. Y'all, much love. We're all one. So, Chief London, HT. I wonder what that HT stands for. Is that Head Thornton? If you're not allowed to use Federal Reserves, how do we navigate this? You are allowed to use Federal Reserves. You can pay and use and barter and trade and donate and give. You have the unlimited ability to contract. You can use any medium of exchange that you'd like. Now, typically, Federal Reserve notes are the common parlance of exchange for a value on the commercial stage. And right now it is the world's reserve, but it seems like it's getting ready to change. Type of system. Looks like it's about to collapse, to be honest with you. So today is your first time here. Oh, really? That's cool. Are you from another site, Vic Santos? Because your name seems familiar. By the way, I didn't know if we had like met up from another chat group. So today's first day. A little sweet. Thank you, little birdie. Yes, that's very sweet. Awesome. He is very knowledgeable and shares freely. Yes, I do. Black Swan, what is up, dude? How you doing? Welcome to Su Casa Mi Casa, mi amigo. Thumbs up. Half of your videos tell us not to use Federal Reserve notes. No, what I'm saying is you're giving up jurisdiction if you use Federal Reserve notes. So if you're going to claim to be a national, if you're going to claim to represent a national corporation, you should not use Federal Reserve notes unless you put them into a wallet, or you put them in some type of trust indenture, or you put them in some type of sealed thing that is outside of what you're trying to engage in. What I'm getting at is, if you are a national, I would not mess with Federal Reserve notes if you're trying to say that you are representing a national, because that is commingling. That is someone else's property. You didn't mint that. You didn't create it. A sovereign mints his own coins. A sovereign trades, barters, and doesn't use a public banking system to engage in public commerce. A sovereign is all. And so, but your U.S. citizen is a tool. It is a tool that was created for your use. It's really created so that it can, give you an interface for the bankrupt public for you to use and sail the seas of commerce. But it also has 4 liens attached to it. It has a federal lien, a state lien. It has a medical insurance lien that prevented World War III a long time ago, and it has a federal, state, medical, and Social Security. So it has those 4 liens on it out the gate. Now, the U.S. citizen is just a tool that you can use, but you're also only taxed on how you do business. So it depends on how you do business is how you get taxed. You don't have to use that U.S. citizen. The U.S. citizen can get all kinds of benefits and privileges if you want, but that's up to you. It's up to you. You can do business however you want. Vic Santos, so you are from Africa. That's far away. That's a beautiful, from what I've heard and seen. I mean, well, I've been to Egypt, so I've been to Africa. It's a beautiful continent. It's got a lot of very rich history, and the unfortunate downside to the hostile corporations called countries is the world stages are all different business models. Each country is its own little business, little bankrupt business. Yo, let's play in the bankrupt business world. All right, Black Swan, are you familiar on how to write private self-executing contracts? No. I could learn probably very quickly. A self-executing contract actually kind of makes me want to look that up. So, self-executing contract. Boom. Smart contract. It says, so when I look that up, it says it's called a smart contract. A smart contract is a self-executing contract whose terms of the agreement between the contract's counterparties were embedded into lines of code. Essentially, a smart contract is a digital version of the standard paper contract that automatically verifies fulfillment and enforces and performs the terms of the contract. So, from what I've gathered, it is a digital contract that still must have the parties' agreement in order for it to be executed. Now, so in that case, I have that on my property management. I have all kinds of payment portals where tenants can set up for automatic payment, and like the contract, they are automatically freaking withdrawing every month. Like it's an automatically executing contract. So like stuff like that. I mean, I get that. Now, typically, what you don't want is a a contract that you don't agree to that they're executing on, especially if someone got like a power of attorney over you and did some stuff without your agreement and is causing harm. That's why there's no statute of limitations on fraud when stuff like that happens. Kennedy, thank you for the gifts. I appreciate it. Kennedy June, thank you for the rose. Thank you for the heart. Much appreciated. All right, so, well, your thoughts on SES? Is that security exchange? No, what is SES? I was thinking of SNES, which is, Sega Genesis. I don't know what SES is. If I look it up, it probably will give me too many answers. SES. Socioeconomic status? Is that what you're talking about? If you're talking about socioeconomic status, we all have statuses, and you can choose. The society can choose for you, or you can choose your own status, and then you can make declarations of that and get standing, and that's part of the teachings on my videos. So, guys, I've created a lot of playlists on my profile page of TikTok to try to help re-educate a lot of people. I am right now doing some spiritual stuff. I will absolutely touch back onto nature and commerce in the near future with videos. I wanted to put out a video this week. I just got super swamped with meetings and stuff and just couldn't do it. And I got happy hour coming up in the office here, so I'm going to be like scissorping on some wine here in a little bit. But I had to, I want to get a live out and a video per week. I mean, at a minimum, at least. And so that's, where I'm at right now. It's just a live this week. Monica, I will need a work visa if I claim to be a non-resident alien. Will I need a work visa if I claim? That is, yeah. If you wanna engage in a public, for-profit, commercial type of activity, you'll need permission from the masters to engage in that sort of conveyance, right? So. And it depends on what the rules of each game is that you're trying to play. So if you're trying to claim that you're a non-resident alien, you should be fine creating your own trust if you want to be a 1099 employee, or the trust could be a 1099 employee with a FEIN, a federal employer identification number, and you can do business through that. And you do a W-8BEN, and you create a non-resident alien trust that is located outside of the United States jurisdiction, and you can do business with the U.S. However you want. Like I said, it's all about how you do business. It's up to you. Monica, will I need to? Oh, we already did that. Shawn Michael, Shay's Rebellion. What is? Why? What is that? Is that a book or something? Ron Goldman, Charles is the real deal. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the beers. Yes. Awesome. Vic Santos, bunch of laughing. Oracle. All right, Sean. What is going on? SmartLink. Shay's Rebellion, Oracle, SmartLink. It's all about anonymity. You can have a portion of it public facing and privatized details. I am confused, dude. Or person. Maybe I should just start saying human. That way it's gender neutral. U.S. citizen is a tool. That is correct. Chef London. In that case, what about all these remittance processes? Would be okay to use them? So that is one of the most falsely taught narratives that I see out there, is people trying to tell you that the remittance is payment. No, the remittance is what it is the remittance once you give the payment. It is not the payment. It is, everybody tries to say, oh, it says remittance on it. It's like, yeah, it's going to be a remittance once you put either a check with it, or you put the credit card information on it, or what. Then it's a remittance. That's what it is. But until that point, it is not money. It is proof of a debt, right? So, and quote unquote, in the public bankrupt world, any proof of a debt is considered money in their eyes. But they're not sending a negative money, it's a positive. And what would be so beautiful if this is how it works, but it's not. They're sending you a positive number, not a debt. They're sending you a positive number that's in a box. And anything in a box is not part of a contract. So whenever you get a bill, it's in a box, and it's a positive number. It would be great if this is how it worked. Since Federal Reserve notes are debt, they're sending you a positive number, and then you give them negative number, and that's what balances out and equals zero. And that would be great if that's how it worked, but that's not really truly how it works. But yes, the U.S. citizen is just a tool. You can use it if you want. You can dock it. You can not use it. That is up to you. If you want to try to use the remittance process, by all means, go to whoever taught you or is teaching you that and enjoy the outcome, because you ain't going to get far. So feel free to do that. When you are engaged in certain types of systems, you have to understand the rules of the game. And my understanding is that a remittance is what is used after you put the payment in, not it is the payment, right? So anyway, but you can do a grantee acceptance on it, collapse the private trust or the public trust, create a new trust, and send it to the alien property custodian to set off, sell, and close the account, who is in charge of U.S. citizen assets. You can do that too if you want. That's always an option. Sean, Michael B, you can have, I just don't know. Autonomy, yeah. See, that's Daydream. Thank you, welcome. That's what I thought he was saying. Stamp endorse send, chain link. Sorry, not smart link. I don't know about that lazy tribe stamp. So I will tell you that a stamp is a kind of a Goldback International through the postal office, right? If you're using stamps, and that's why we're all basically postmaster generals. We can sign through any stamp and cancel it on a piece of paper and give it actual value internationally. Now, trying to pay with stamps is a different ball game. It is possible, obviously. I have been when I was in jail, anything was money. We were trading soups as money, and this is what's so wild about the trading and bartering and exchanging and gifting and donating and all this stuff. Like, nobody in there was taxed for trading soups, for trading stamps, for trading envelopes, for trading or bartering. Inside of this little concrete jungle for all of these, it's like adult daycare for inmates. There was all kinds of stuff that was going on as far as exchanging and interaction, commercial activities that were outside of all U.S. jurisdiction, right? If you trade a soup for something or this and that and the other, there's no tax liability. It's not how you do. You're taxed on how you do business, not who you are. You can stamp and endorse and send it, and that gives a monetary value, but it's not going to. Well, I will say that lawful money of account with substance like gold and or a stamp. Stamp is international, just like gold, and so typically, you could say that a stamp is valued at whatever the debt is. You could put a stamp on it and enforce it. Now, when it comes to claims, when you're enforcing procedures, it doesn't matter if it's right, true, just, or lawful. Now, if you try to put a stamp on your bill, cancel it out, put it in trust, send it to somebody, send it back to the CEO, and was like, here, set off, settle, and close. Here's a lawful stamp backed by gold with real actual substance to set off and settle and close the account. They're going to disregard it, and then you can say, well, if you disregard it, that means, according to commercial code, that the debt doesn't exist. So you can either keep it, which means the debt is extinguished, or you can return it with a certificate of dishonor. Now, if they do a certificate of dishonor, then you have to reply to that. But if they send it back, that means the debt is canceled, and you can enforce all these things. Like you can go to court. If they try to cut off your service or whatever, it's all about contract and understanding how to operate. So you can enforce your position no matter what that is, even if you're wrong, quote unquote. It's not about being right or just or truthful. It's about what you can prove and claim. So you could put a stamp on a bill and send it in and basically say that's money. And if you fight them and you know what you're doing, they'll just say it's a bad debt, it's uncollectible, and they'll balance their books out. Now, you can also have the Treasury send them money on the private side or the public side or whatever, and then they'll balance their books out that way too. Or you can send them Federal Reserve notes, they'll balance their books out. There's so many different ways to get the account settled. And that's typically, it's all about account transaction and exchanging properly when we do our commercial affairs. And none of us are taught or learned very well on how to operate like that. So anonymity and autonomy actually, LOL. Sorry, bro. I was commenting as you were talking. Yeah, no, I got you. I didn't know, Sean. I was just seeing random words, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" Oracle, SmartLink. It looked like you're sending notes or something to somebody. Pablo, Oh no, Monica. So I will need a visa if I'm employed. So you aren't employed. You're a U.S. citizen or a trust. The U.S. citizen is a trust. It's a very unique trust called an individual trust. That's what the IRS classifies it as. The U.S. citizen needs a tax identification number in order to be engaged in business. So will any other trust if you're going to engage in public commerce. Now you start dealing in private, guess what? You get to control all the contracts and all the outcomes and all that stuff when you start engaging. You can two sovereigns can contract and deal in gold. They can barter. Like I said, in jail, we were trading soups. We were trading soups for, like, people were gambling. I don't gamble, but people were gambling for soups and freaking food. And, that was money in there. Freaking sardines were money. It was like, it's a crazy, it's a very unnatural environment to be trapped in. But like I said, you can. They're basically sovereigns, bartering, trading, and exchanging. And I didn't even realize it till just now when I started thinking about it. But you can do whatever you want. It's up to you. Can an immigrant find a easy to claim a state national corporation? Yeah. So an immigrant can easily pledge allegiance to a sovereign republic state at any time. That is completely a viable situation, and you can then memorialize that basically declaration, and you can have it served to all kinds of different corporate heads, quote unquote. You can send it out to everybody, and then you'll have standing, and then that should typically, especially if you know how to handle yourself in court, should prevent any immigrant from being deported or removed from the U.S. because of their knowledge and proof, because that's what it's all about. It's about claims and proof. And if you can claim that you are a Republican, like a Virginia State National or California National, whatever, and you have it memorialized and you have standing because you've mailed it out and nobody has responded, you can enforce that on any court in earth. And if an immigration or whatever, now typically if you don't speak English, all this stuff's going to be kind of hard if you're like trying to enforce a Spanish contract in front of everybody, but it's still viable. Chef London, yes, that's what's the process called. I wouldn't do the instead of the remittance, it's called trust law. So, Chef, you want to look up trust law. You want to read Weiss's Concise Trustee Handbook. I also suggest watching the playlist on my profile in order, which is foundation, nature, spirit, and then commerce. Everybody typically just wants to jump into commerce, but at a minimum, at least watch foundation and then commerce, because I made all of the videos to lay important groundwork for building off of foundations. So how I am, most of y'all think I'm intelligent. I don't know anything. All I know is how things operate simply. I break them down, and that's how I build my foundations. And once you lay foundations upon which cannot be shook or shaken or changed, when somebody comes in and tries to teach me about a remittance, and I know that's not my system. And if it's not my system, I have to learn how that system works. And when you look into it, it is a remittance after you put the payment on it and then send it. It is not the payment. It has a linked bank account. It has linked information to their bank so that you can pay to their bank. It's not so you can pull money from their bank. Like, that's not how it works. It's the same thing with the IRS. It's called double entry bookkeeping. You are messing up a system. You have to have harmony and peace and coherence on all levels in order for stuff like that to work, to get remedy. You cannot get a remedy by signing a remittance and sending it to the IRS and to the Treasury and saying, here, pay my bill, dog. That's not going to work. That's not how it works. That's not how the system works. You have to understand the rules of the game if you're going to be engaged in that kind of stuff. So study, All right, so Lazy Eyes Tribe. Bruh, what you know about soups? I knew you were the real one. Yeah, I know about some soups. I had me some swole. We used to do Super Bowl swoles. I don't watch. Well, that's actually the only football game I watch, is the Super Bowl every once in a while. Super Bowl swoles, where you cover an entire bunk. And I had some good money on my books, so I actually would create like a freaking buffet where the soups would be like covering the whole bunk, and I'd be laying out all these different meats. This is back when I ate meat. When I got out of jail, I started studying and I turned vegan. But when I was in jail, we had all the pouches, holiday pouches. We had these freaking beans. We had these fish, salmon, all that stuff. I would open them all up, and people could make. It was like a buffet line, like a freaking Golden Corral buffet line. But everybody wanted to freaking stock up on the meats. Like, I would set it all out so everybody could eat good, and they would just be like double, triple grabbing all the meats. And it's like, man, come on, like let other people get some of that. Come on, maybe like I didn't know there was supposed to be etiquette laid down or rules, like one scoop of beans, like, you know what I'm saying, when you're doing this stuff. All right, anyway, sorry, I was on a little rant. Follow the live. Thank you, Jen Cone, for the follow. Instead of remittance process, yeah. So there's a lot of different ways you can handle it. You can discharge it publicly. You can discharge it privately. You can set it off. You can pay in Federal Reserve notes. You can give them gold and start using UCC codes and get them a contract through a private administrative procedure. You can do all kinds of stuff. There's like I said, we have the unlimited ability to contract, and I do typically suggest everybody watching the playlist on my profile to get re-educated from the beginning, because we are indoctrinated as children. Our parents were indoctrinated. Their parents were indoctrinated. And the creators of the public fool system who funded it get to dictate how they wanted their servants and their serfs to operate. And there's actually a good book I was thinking about called From Sovereign to Serf that a lot of people should read. It kind of lays out how we were tricked into being subjects. Chain link smart contracts were being discussed. It's a technology that will be used for everything. Okay, so thank you for breaking that down, Sean. Now that, because, so chain link, would you say smart contracts? Okay, perfect. All right, Chainlink is a decentralized Oracle network that provides real-world data to smart contracts on the blockchain. Smart contracts are pre-specified agreements on the blockchain that evaluate information and automatically execute when certain conditions are met. Link tokens are the digital asset tokens used to pay for services on the network. I gotcha. So is this what the BRICS is using, the BRICS nations? Because, like I said, I'm leaning towards the BRICS taking over, because right now they're really close to owning 51% of the world's GDP. And once they do that, they're going to have a hostile corporate takeover. And the U.S. dollar is on its way out. All right, so where are we at? It's a lot to learn. Thank you for helping us. You're welcome. I'm learning too. Like, I didn't know what a freaking Oracle decentralized smart repository for blockchain automatic contracts were. Like what? But now I know what smart contracts are, and I actually have a lot of them. I have a lot of stuff that is like automatically, when I sign up to Tinder, it had an automatic freaking smart contract where it was like automatically renews. You got to go in there and remove that smart contract. Like, I don't want that automatic payment coming out every month. Like, I was just browsing around and see what kind of hot catfish are out there. I about said fat hot chicks, but it was hot catfish. That's a tongue twister. What are your thoughts on the W4 sandwich? So I actually have not learned that, and I've said that in a few other lives. Like, I need to study and learn what the W4 sandwich process is. I'm not very well versed in it. I don't know what it's about. I don't really understand it. I have actually watched a couple videos on it, but I'm still not really fully grasping what is trying to be accomplished by the W4 sandwich. I don't get it. I don't know what the remedy is, like what the forms are, the procedure, or what the outcome that is trying to be accomplished by a W4 sandwich is. If I had somebody that could lay that out, because I'll tell you, I've listened to it. I've listened to somebody say what it is, and it sounded like they didn't know what the heck they were talking about. Then I hear other people talking about it like they know it, and each one's like it's a little different. I don't really have an exact answer on that, but I have heard it a few times, just never just spent enough time to figure it out. All right, Lazy, would you set up your 98 trust to put your public trust inside or separate them operating public? So you can have you can create a public trust that is the trustee of an offshore trust, which is the trustee of a private trust, which is a trustee for a pure sovereign trust. And you can create all these layers, and this is how the big ballers do it. They create LLCs that are holding companies for all these different trusts that hold all these. There are all these foundations, and it's just all different business models, and each one has different tax liabilities depending on how you operate them. And if you're talking about your public trust, which is the U.S. citizen, that's not your trust to put into something else. You can, right? So the U.S. citizen can contract in all kinds of things, and you're the authorized representative for it. But whenever you're talking about title, the state owns the true title to the U.S. citizen. And the same thing happens with a house. If you do not have the true title to the house and you try to put it into a trust, if you don't pay taxes on it, somebody can still come and take the house. Even though you try to put the house into a trust and you try to say, oh, it's my property, and put it, it's like, no, there's still underlying liens, contracts, obligations, and duties because you don't have true title to it. True title is controlling, wholesome, allodial, absolute title, which means you are the dictator and the sovereign controlling that property. That is the only time that I suggest trying to do like a pure sovereign trust or like a foreign trust or your own trust. You should hold true title to the property that you're putting in it before you do that. That way you ain't got to worry about no other parties trying to be able to infringe or create any liability to it or try to attack it, right? All right, so thanks. My playlists are in perfect order. I appreciate it. That's intelligence, brother. Abstract reason. Thank you. Palmer Reality, LLC. I appreciate the rose. Much appreciated. All your gifts will be used to help enlighten others. So, y'all giving me gifts is helping others. Y'all being here is helping others because y'all are helping raise the consciousness. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you, user, for the rose. Much appreciated. Bunch of roses. ACE Foundation. ASE Foundation? What is that, Chef? I don't know. I was vegan while I was in man. Yeah, it's not easy. I don't push my I'd say I don't push my beliefs. Like this whole freaking hour has been nothing but my beliefs. But I don't push my veganism on anybody because it's not for everybody, right? I mean, it's my understanding. My research shows that we are a frugivore, and that's what we have been designed to consume, is like fruits, nuts, grapes, legumes, wheats, oats, plants, and stuff like that. But it ain't easy trying to go out in the public and try to order something that tastes good. And it's hard for plants. Well, I say it's hard for plants to taste good, but a lot of people use plants to spice up food. They use herbs and spices that are plants to give food good taste. So, but your typical mass-produced food that's out in the grocery store, like 98% of it is garbage. It's full of all these preservatives and chemicals and freaking petroleum and like formaldehyde and cancer-causing stuff, and it's all highly processed and it's all genetic, and it's like, and this is what our cells are receiving. Like, no good, no bueno. Anyway, it's not an easy path, but it's not for everyone. All right, now. Chef, now is that the same as a foreign trust, Delaware Salvatore Trust or Massachusetts Express Trust? There are a lot of different trusts, and a lot of people don't know this, but trusts originate mentally and then they express verbally, right? Contracts are verbal first, so you can have a trust that is basically announced verbally. You can show you're in trust by your actions, but that you do. The money that we use, Federal Reserve notes, is in trust. There's sovereign trust, there's pure trust, there's living trust, there's irrevocable, revocable. There's so many different trust models that are out there. There's just and each one's different. But you can show that you're in a trust, but just by your actions that you're taking. Just like being in a relationship, like typically you trust that the other person isn't just going to go like bang some stranger. You're trusting. That's a relationship. You're in trust. All right. So, can you talk on authenticating the BC and how to fill out a W-2 at your job after I think accounting? So I suggest watching the playlist on my profile because unless you're trying to go through the DTC or leave the country, there's no reason to authenticate your birth certificate. I don't think it's wise to send it to the alien property custodian to let them know that you're a U.S. citizen, because all you need to do is like hail some of the information. And from what one of my teachers was trying to say, you can send it to the alien property custodian to have them set off all of your debts or whatever on the public side. But That would be crazy trying to authenticate a birth certificate every single time you go to the alien property custodian trying to say, sell it. You can just give the Social Security and some of the information off it to say you're a U.S. citizen, because they're already authorized to deal in assets for the U.S. citizen. All right, so the W-2, I don't like give advice on how to fill out IRS forms. You can fill that out however you want. It just depends on what your position is. If you're trying to be a national, trying to be a foreigner, trying to be a 1099 employee, you can fill out all kinds of different forms in different ways. I don't have one in front of me to like tell you what to put in box 1 and box 2 and box 3. I mean, it's typically your corporate name and a tax ID number is all they care about. That's all that's needed for a business to start doing business. Is you need the hull number, right? You need the hull number and you need a vessel, and then you can start sailing and get it going. All right, so Sean, and that's all fiat, yes? No. There's private assets. Not everything's fiat in the public. There are private assets. What was the name of the book you talking about? Oh, it's From Sovereign to Serf. I think it's SERF or SURF. I think maybe it's SURF. Now, I think it might be on my commerce folder of Goodreads on my website. It's very possible. I'm not 100% sure, but if you go in there, you can check it out. Guys, this live will be on my YouTube. You can check it out. The audio will be on my Telegram group. You can join, browse around on my website. I have exclusive content on my website, including all the links to all my social medias. On my TikTok profile page, it's linked there. You can go on there, browse around, look at all the stuff that my crazy brain has been involved in for all the years that's outside of the public mainstream narrative. I'm probably going to wrap up soon. What was the first steps that you did to protect yourself, fam? So I actually studied the secure party creditor process for a long time, and then I learned that was garbage. And then I started to create trust, and then I stuck a claim to the Republic and created a post, and then sent out a status declaration to all of the key players on Earth to get standing, and then I ended up creating a business structure that was best for me and my family, a very unique business structure, which is on my website under commerce business structures, and you can see the different types in there. So that's what I went through. Veronica, hey, you're coming to me from the pool. That's nice. It must be nice to be lounging out in the sun all day and be able to chill in the pool. Some of us gotta get on here and help people. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. I'm probably going to be wrapping up soon though. But Palmer, yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for thanking me too. I appreciate all y'all that are on here trying to learn and being a part of this stuff with me. Thanks for joining the Charles Show. What's the process for buying or acquiring via 1099A? The process is a private administrative procedure where you get the opposing party into an agreement that allows you to create an asset and a private judgment that you can put all the information on the IRS forms in order to not create a false, fraudulent liability between the two parties. Because if you try to do a 1099A without having an agreement, then you're creating fraudulent activity. If there is one. There is one, absolutely. I went and looked at my city name with the city charter on Google, and man, the Incorporated City Show. That's awesome. I actually, in a museum where I live, Norfolk, that's actually where I work, there it said, from the king granted to the corporation Norfolk, or something like that. I took a picture of it because I thought it was so cool that it's just sitting there, and it's, because Norfolk's a real, Norfolk is how you break it down, but it's so cool that it was on a freaking scepter. It's on a scepter from a king, and it says granted to the corporation, the city of Norfolk. And it's like, wow. I mean, people that have eyes to see, it's like it's telling you right there that the freaking city is a corporation. And if that's a corporation, that must mean that the state's a corporation, which must mean that the U.S. is a corporation. It's all business. It's all like ones and zeros, matrix, X's and O's with freaking commerce. So W4 Sandwich is to request a tax audit on any company or entity that ever used your SSN in any way. So how is that a sandwich? That just sounds like an audit. Like, why not just say do a tax audit? So, anybody that's ever used your SSN is usually a company that you gave the SSN to, not something that didn't have permission or authority. But and then what's the outcome after you do like the audit? But that's cool though. Thanks for kind of breaking that down. So you're getting an audit for anybody that's used your SSN. You eat nothing but plants. That's awesome. That's where I'm at. I'm saying every once in a while something will accidentally sneak in. Like I bit a wrap. I ordered it was vegan and it had chicken. I knew immediately, and I was not happy that I bit into that. But I did. I didn't swallow it luckily. But yeah, I'm all plant. Thank you for sharing the live, Veronica. Thank you guys. You can be in private and public. Absolutely. We are both private and public. Like we have a private consciousness where we have an inner dialogue. I have an outer dialogue where like I'm expressing outwardly. I have a flesh body that's natural, that's on the outside. I have a spiritual body that's inside and can traverse through all the different layers. Yeah, I don't know if surf. I don't know if it's. Yeah, I think it's SERF. Maybe it is SERF. It's from sovereign to serf. It basically means how we were kind of duped into being slaves, quote unquote, for the corporations. Whoa, I got a few questions I got to answer. Most of those folders of business empty, yeah. Well, the hint is that I have too much work and not enough workers. Like I want to fill in all like templates and stuff for all those structures, and like I have so much work that I've got to do. And then I be slacking. Like sometimes I'd be chilling playing Candy Crush. Like I got endless amounts of work to do on my website. I've got business structures that I'm building and all this other stuff. So did I miss one? Follow. Thanks for the follow. Can anyone with a SSN write off debt? Any human can write off debt. The SSN is just a tax identification number. That has nothing to do. I mean, it is linked to a federal benefits program, and the tax identification number is the linchpin that makes the U.S. citizen a federal employee. But writing off debt is for any corporation that doesn't receive payment on something. Like that's what that's a debt write-off. Or if you are able to go through a banking foreclosure, or there's so many different ways to write off debt. But as far as discharging, the U.S. citizen has the ability to discharge debt publicly and privately, and any corporation can do set-offs. So that's through a private administrative procedure. I was stationed in Virginia Beach, Oceana. Wow. I don't know if you're talking about like if that means like where you worked or where you were locked up or whatever. I was in a city jail for 980 something days, I think. What do you think about SF 181 form? I don't know. Let's look it up. What is that? SF 181. Standard forms are very powerful. Why does it say ethnicity and race identification? To obtain this, go here. I had to click on a link. Ethnicity and race identification. I don't know. It's just a form is requested on authority. Yeah, see, I don't like giving up authority to USC in compliance with the Office of Management Budget. So there is something cool about the Office of Management and Budget, OMB. So, and I learned this a long time ago. It's really cool, especially when they come around doing the censuses. If something does not have a valid, publicly posted USB or OMB number, you don't have to fill it out. Or nobody has to fill it out. No U.S. citizen has to fill out any form that doesn't have a valid OMB number on it for the government. Hold on, but I don't know. It's just a form for identifying your ethnicity. I mean, naturally, guys, we all have different bodies. Spiritually, we all have one. Like we're all in one sync and one unity. But the natural light, Lucifer, the false temporary light, deceives the world through this false body, this temporary thing that makes us think we all are all different. But we're not. We're all one. And that is what all the corporations and all the entities try to teach and preach and to divide us. Because if y'all had any clue how powerful we were if we dropped the two eyes and came through the one and all were in unity, like nothing could stop us. And they've proven it many, many times when a lot of people get in one accord and one string and one tune, they're able to focus and be able to like alter matter, like change the weather, like do all kinds of stuff. All right, so Surf, yep, he has a wealth of forms, station, blah, blah, watching from the Bronx, New York. All right, I'm in VA system. What are you talking about, Sav? Elisa, I'm right across the bridge. Cool, as above, so below. I'm glad y'all are networking. That's right, Sav, as above, so below. Chef London, they own the allodial title, but we can be secured in our interest, right? Well, it depends on what the property is. So with a car, if it was registered, then yeah, they own the true title to it. If it's a house, they're operating under color of title because the king never granted them the true title to it. So they created like a false federal, like clear laminate layover of the land and then started operating off of that, pretending like it's what the true property is, but it's not. It's like a false jurisdiction. That's how a lot of the departments of the federal government operate, through false federal jurisdictions. The sandwich is W for the 1040, and the 1040V, the voucher. Yeah, I know about this form. Something knows before. So, you send your payment with a 1040V. 28 USC 3002 subsection 15. Yes, that is the United States is a federal corporation. Chef London, you gave your social to them under distress VC due to the policies. No, I didn't. Oh, you're talking about, so you're still explaining the W4. So let me tell you how the courts have ruled on distress VC. If you sign a contract and you have not rescinded it within 3 days, you can put under duress. You can sign you have the unlimited ability to sign in any way you want. You can strike stuff out, you can amend, you can add stuff, you can do restrictive endorsements. You can sign any way you want, right? And we're not taught any of this stuff because in school, they want you to just sign your name at the top of a document, not even read it, just first thing, just sign it, right? And that's how we were all indoctrinated, by just signing your name without even reading the contract. So you can sign any way you want. If you sign under duress and you do not rescind that signature within 3 days, it has been ruled that you were not really under duress because you didn't rescind the signature. And you most likely were enjoying the benefits and privileges of the fruits of the contract that you engaged in. So how are you going to prove that you were under duress when, number one, you didn't rescind after 3 days, and number two, you were enjoying the benefits and privileges of the contract that you engaged in? So that's how the courts look at the VC distress. You're here to help? Awesome. I'm glad. Thank you, Lazy. You need assistance? Hint, hint. Yep. Yeah, if y'all got information on different, as he said, on different corporate structures, by all means, send them to me and I'll upload them on my website. It's just stuff I haven't done. Y'all are finding out some things. Somebody told me one of my, because I have like Black's Law Dictionary 1 through 9. I think one of the number ones is only half publicated, like it's missing some parts. Jimmy, let's talk about it. I was thinking about you today when I was like, where is Jimmy at? When I be getting on here talking about, hey, let's talk about it. Because it's so funny how, I started doing that on my videos. So like, let's talk about it. That's it. Oh, I got you. Cool. Well, I almost said the boner, but it's T-Bone Huber. Okay. I thought it was never mind. I'm a vet who luckily didn't have to work, so I'm down to help. Oh, that's cool. Heck yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I've got works. It's the problem with my website is I'm very particular. I even had one of my moderators that was going to help me, and I sat there and thought about it, and I'm like, there's nobody that can categorize all of my TikTok videos into the folders and all of my websites that I know of other than me. It's like who else could be doing all this stuff? All right, so guys, I'm probably going to wrap up soon. It's called a map overlay. Yeah, that's right. Hey, how you healing goddess? How you doing? Veronica, do you have successful process for acquiring an allodial title for land? Yes, I can tag you in a video. Just remind me in DMs, and I can tag you in a video. It's typically you got to get like the original land patent from the king, and you got to do a chain of custody to whoever it was granted to, and make sure there's nobody alive that can still do a grantee acceptance on it. Then do a grantee acceptance on it, pay all the debts on it, and then you can recorded as you having true title to it, but then you can't use any public services or utilities, and you know, it's a lot to it. I have videos on some of this stuff. So how long can you be held in jail? It depends. Your U.S. citizen can be held indefinitely. Do you have? Yes, I do. Okay, so such as the zip codes are being applied across the map. Yeah, that's one of those false federal jurisdictions through the Buck Act where they created Social Security Administration zones and then use these zip codes to create a false federal jurisdiction blanketed over the U.S., but really the U.S. is located in D.C. When endorsing the application to purchase the security financial assistance on vehicle, what are you trying to get at? For a car stop? Oh, yeah, like I said, if you're perceived as a threat, typically they can only hold you for 3 days. If you know how to handle yourself properly, aka guys, watch or listen to the audio in my folder under court operations and commerce. And if you operate properly, when you get booked, they can only hold you for 3 days, like 3 days. Now, granted, they could put you naked in a concrete cold room for 3 days and it'll make you lose your mind. But after 3 days, you know, once you spend 3 nights in death in jail, they have to release you if they haven't properly been able to lodge a charge or book you. Booking is the ledgering of an account. If they do not book you, they cannot start that account. And courts, all court cases are just an account. That's it. Yes, you can DM me. Thanks, Veronica. Yeah, if you want to chat, Cliff, that's fine. Just DM me. Do you use CUSIP at all? No, I know what they are. I don't use the committee uniform for securities, something protocol. How about some people have been saying discharging through the DTA? Yeah, I don't know about the Treasury Direct account. I think we all have a Treasury Direct account called the Social Security number, if you ask me. LLC, he's always working. And supposedly doing it through the DTA. Yeah, like I said, I've heard about the Treasury Direct account, just haven't. I don't know anybody who teaches how to do anything through the Treasury Direct account. Like, I know, now you probably have one set up when you go through the DTC. That's possible. But my understanding is all U.S. citizens already have a Treasury Direct account that's set up in order to pay the Crown. You know, because that's how it was all established, to be able to through all the bankruptcies of the U.S. to continue to funnel money to the Crown. Guys, this live will be on my YouTube. You can watch the full video there. You can listen to the audio on my Telegram group. My website is located on my profile page of TikTok. My website has all my social media links. You can go through there. You can browse through my website. I have occult, esoteric, secret knowledge that's not mainstream media taught. All the stuff that I learned growing up. Feel free to email me. You can DM me. Please watch the playlist on my profile to be re-educated and undoctrinated. It will help you out a lot. And I have basically exclusive content on all my social media, so feel free to browse around that. All right, I'll get rid of the debt national that owed the country, supposedly the way to do it. Yeah, that's possible. All right, guys, so check out my YouTube when you get a chance. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy your Friday. I'm actually getting ready to go do a happy hour here and have a little bit of wine here in the office, so that's going to be fun. And I hope y'all enjoy your weekend. I wish I would have gotten to drop a video this week, but I didn't. I just got kind of busy. So check out this audio when you get a chance on my social media. So y'all have a great weekend. Appreciate y'all coming on. All right, guys?